We're home!
Yay!
Not yay. We wish we were back at Disney World. But for our last 2 days, we went to Animal Kingdom for a second time and Magic Kingdom for a third time. And when we were there, we just wanted to really be there, and we were doing so much stuff that we didn't want to waste time doing recaps. So we just decided that we would do it when we came home. So we're going to recap Animal Kingdom Day 2. And that was given to us by the Mitchell family and the Ferguson family. So the Mitchell family, we're saying, gave us Pandora, Dinosaur, and Everest. And the Ferguson family gave us the shows, because Animal Kingdom has Broadway-type shows. And we're going to say that the Ferguson family gave us Lion King, Nemo, and Bug's Life. And then also Africa, which is like all the animals and stuff. Mm-hmm. So to start off our day, we got to Animal Kingdom an hour before it opened. So the park opened at 9, and we got there at 8. We did that because Pandora, the land of Avatar, is so busy that we knew it was just going to be packed, and we had to get there really early. So we planned that. So they let people into the park right when we got there. And they didn't let people go into the lands until 8:30. So when we got into Animal Kingdom, we went straight over to Pandora, and there was people packed from the beginning of Pandora all the way back into the previous land before it. So when we got there, we were in Discovery Island, the land before the path, the bridge, and the entrance into Pandora. And people were packed shoulder to shoulder, chest to back. It was super busy over there. I was really nervous when we got there because I knew it was going to be busy. I didn't know it was going to be that busy, but I'm glad that we planned for it, because it was the biggest line. Every single person that got let in was going to Pandora. And so when we got let in at 8:30, almost that entire group that was packed in went to Avatar Flight of Passage.
Yes.
Whereas we had a fast pass for Avatar Flight of Passage at 9:05, so we didn't need to go there so early. So we went straight to the Navi River Journey, which is the other ride at Avatar. So when everybody was going over to the side, we walked on to the Navi River Journey. And that was really cool because we didn't think that was going to happen since there were so many people there. And the Navi River Journey is really cool. The lead up to it is very immersive. You realize that you're going into a like worship area for the Navi because of the queue. We didn't get to see very much of it because we just walked right through it. But what did you think of the Navi River Journey?
I thought it was really cool. It's very immersive, and it's a lot of fun to see all the created like plants and life that they have there for it. And then you get to see that huge lifelike animatronic there at the end, which moves so fluidly that you think it's real. You really think it's like a 10-foot Navi sitting there singing to you and like hitting the drum things that they have on Pandora. It's insane.
Yeah, it is really it's just so cool to think of how far animatronics have come from the first lifelike animatronic that was Abraham Lincoln that stood up and that amazed people in the 70s and I guess it was like 60s, but now we have this huge 10-foot tall animatronic that is breathing and her eyes are blinking and her mouth muscles are moving and her nose is flaring and her hair and her arms and everything was so lifelike you couldn't even believe it. Yeah, that was the best part of that ride. Was you just get through the dark part of the ride and then you get to see the big special animatronic. That was so cool. I really think that the Avatar land should have Navi like walking around or more Navi there because it's really cool otherwise. So we had about 30 minutes until our fast pass because we had walked on to Navi River Journey so quickly. So we were just able to walk around and enjoy Avatar Land basically uninterrupted because everybody was in line for the Flight of Passage.
Yeah. we got to take pictures and see the floating mountains and stuff, and take pictures in front of the floating mountains, which are pretty much dead center of the park, which is usually the busiest part of the parks. But because it was, one, so early, and two, everyone that was there was in line for Flight of Passage, there was no traffic at all, and we got like clear shots of the floating mountains and of the plants and stuff, which was really fun. And we got to like bang on these drum things without having to like wait in a line. Basically, it's just like a fun thing you can do while you walk on by.
So. No, it was great because we felt like we were the only people there, and we really got to experience it all. Just as clear as possible because there was no one around us. Yeah. And that was really great because the first time we were at Avatar Land, our Fast Pass was for the midday. So that was the first time that we entered it. And it was packed full of people. Yeah. And this morning that we were there, it was totally empty. And it felt like it was like just perfect and just there for us. So it was great. And then at 9:05, we had our Fast Pass for the Flight of Passage. And just to give you an idea of how busy that ride is, the park technically opened up at 9 o'clock. And like I said, everybody was packed, shoulder to shoulder in. And every single one of those people went over to Flight of Passage. So 30 minutes after people got let in, 5 minutes after the park opened, the standby wait time was 3.5 hours. So we were very, very happy to have our Fast Pass. And very fortunate that we were able to go on that ride both times that we were there without waiting at all. What did you think about Flight of Passage?
It was amazing. It's still probably like one of my favorite rides ever. It's very immersive and just a lot of fun. The thing that you sit on that's supposed to be the Banshee really feels like you're riding a Banshee. It's like breathing. It makes the noises. You get sprayed in the face when there's like when you go over the ocean part. It's a lot of fun, and I love it. It was so sad to like ride it for the last time. I didn't want it to end. Yeah,
it's not a short ride, but it's so good. You don't want to get off.
Yeah, it's a well length out ride. It's long enough to enjoy and stuff, but for me, I think it was too short. It's too short. It should never end.
It is the best ride I think that's ever been made. At Disney, I think that the Forbidden Journey at Universal is probably, I like it more because there's more realistic stuff that's going on in front of you. But the Flight of Passage is the best ride at Disney. The feeling that you get, you actually feel like you're flying. Your stomach drops every time. Your hair is blowing with the wind. You're getting splashed with water. All these different scents are happening. The lights, your chair is a breathing Banshee, and it breathes with you. And, I mean, even when it stops to sit, I felt like my thing was just sitting down. And it gets back up, and you can feel it, like, revving up, and its heartbeat, and oh, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yes, it's amazing. And then after that, we went to the gift shop, and we saw the miniature Banshees that can sit on people's shoulder for the first time. You can get these little tiny shoulder guys, and it is a Banshee that you control with a remote that's like down at your hip, and they turn and they make a noise and they spit water and their wings flap, and it was really cool to get to see those, and we saw people playing with them.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part overall about Avatar Land?
Probably being able to walk around and see the land. Honestly, even though it's not like a real land and it's made up, it feels very real. Like they put a lot of effort, and you can see all the effort and dedication they put into making it feel like a real land. And even though all of the plants aren't real, some of them are. And even though that stuff is made up, I mean, they're really there. The floating mountains are really there. The waterfalls, even though they made them, they're just as real as the waterfalls in Magic Kingdom. It's just, it's really cool. It's all there. The floating mountains, they're not really floating because that technology is not exist and those elements aren't real. But they made it look like these floating mountains are so tall that you can see them as you're driving up to the park from the outside of Walt Disney World. I mean, they're huge, and everything seems like it's real and it's supposed to be there, and
nothing felt out of place. I wasn't like, oh, it's really apparent that doesn't belong here. They blended the real plant life with the made up plant life super well, and I think that was because James Cameron, the director, creator of Avatar, the movie, he worked with the Disney Imagineers on this entire land. And so it is what is supposed to be there. It'd be like if George Lucas came and worked on Star Wars Land, which is not happening. I think that this is the best possible creation of something that is not a Disney-made IP that we could possibly get. So overall, Avatar was amazing, and we loved it. It was great. The last thing that we did at Avatar Land was we ate there later that night.
Yeah.
What did you think about the restaurant?
The Satuli Canteen.
Yes. Not the cantina.
Yeah,
Satuli
Cantina. Satuli Canteen.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun. I don't know. I didn't feel as immersed in it as I did the rest of the land. Half of it is like the I forget what they're called, but they're like the human colonizers.
Yeah.
Of Pandora. Half of it is like their like military base style, and the other half is like a Na'vi like restaurant. It was really weird to me.
Yeah, so the entire premise of Pandora is that there is a company that came in called Ace, and they are the good company that came after the demolition military company that is in the movie. So the company that is currently there now is supposed to be wanting to preserve the life, and they're supposed to be run by the scientists and not by the military. So you really only see that in the Flight of Passage ride and, like Shelby was saying, in the area where the Satuli Canteen is. And that's the story of why we're able to go to Pandora. There's also a character that walks around in the big suit. Not the big suit that you see the bad guy fighting with the main Avatar at the end of the movie.
It's like a smaller scientific one for scientific purposes.
Yeah. So the restaurant was supposed to be their mess hall, I think, or their cafeteria. But it was really cool because the food that they served was great. So talk about the food, because that part was good.
Yeah, the food was really good. I had like pod cheeseburgers, and they like steam these burgers in these like pods. I don't know what they are. They're really good though. They were super good.
They look like wonton pods.
Yeah, and then they give you like house-made chips. Some were like regular like potato chips, and other ones are like bean chips kind of, and those were super good. The only thing I didn't really like that much was the slaw, but the slaw had like boba beads in it, and it was really good. The boba beads are good. They were good.
Everything that was on that menu was supposed to be like from Pandora, so it was supposed to be from a different land, and I got the tofu bowl, and it was definitely different. Every single thing that you got there is different. It's not a normal cheeseburger and fries. You can't get that there.
No.
And so I think it was really good. I would definitely go there again. It was cool. So overall, Pandora is a great addition to my favorite park, and I'm not upset that they made it anymore. Because I was nervous, because but Animal Kingdom is my favorite land because of the care and the time that everybody creating it takes when they're making something or adding anything into it. And so you could tell that they really tried hard to make it fit into that. And also the overall message of conservation and learning and teaching about animals. Even in the beginning ride video of Avatar Flight of Passage, they talk about keystone species of animals. And so they're trying to teach you about animals in Animal Kingdom, even throughout Pandora. So it was great. I loved it. If you go there, get there early.
Yeah. Get some fast passes.
Yeah, get some fast passes. My favorite part, I think, was the floating mountains.
Yeah.
So the same thing as yours, just like seeing it all.
Yeah.
All there. So after that, we went on Kilimanjaro Safari. We actually tried to go through the Africa Passway from Pandora, and that was closed off because the line was so long from Flight of Passage that it cut off the the Africa bridge, and they had to loop it all the way back in to Pandora. So that was crazy. But we went on Kilimanjaro Safari. I always like to go on Kilimanjaro Safari once in the morning and once at night, because you see the two different types of animals, because half the animals that they have at Animal Kingdom are nocturnal, and half of them are normal-turnal. I don't know, whatever during the day is.
Daywalkers? No.
Yeah. And so we got to see a lot of different animals there. We got to see the baby giraffe way closer than we did the day before. And our driver was a lot better. Both of our drivers the second day, I think, were a lot better than they were the first day. The best part about the lions, so the lions usually only come out at night because lions are nocturnal. But the lion was sitting up on Pride Rock in broad daylight, and he was just chilling there, and he yawned, and so you got to see the entire span of how big a lion's mouth is.
They get wide.
It's crazy.
It's scary.
And the females are the hunters, so you don't really have to worry about that unless you're, like, about to walk into a pride, then you gotta be scared, because the males are the ones that protect the pride while the females hunt.
Yeah.
And I think that we learned a lot more on both of the safaris the second time.
Yeah, than we did the first time we went. Yeah. I feel that too.
Yeah. So then we hung out in Africa for a little bit. We got to see the dancing guys, which is really fun. I always like to see them because they pull guests into their area. And it's all these big men, and they're playing African instruments. And there's one guy that goes out and he's trying to make you dance. I don't know how you would say it, like authentically dance like they do. And it's really funny because they always pick like these super white tourists, and they're like, yeah, come out and dance here with like your butt and your hips. And it always looks so bad, and the other guy looks like amazing as he's like trying to teach them how to do it.
It's so funny to watch because the guy who's doing the dancing stuff will usually end up laughing at him.
Yeah, he's just laughing at them, and
so
he purposely
funny.
picks people that look like they're not good at dancing. And I love like the dance moves that they do. I was like doing it like the whole day in the other lines. And we also saw a guy that's playing this huge instrument in Africa. I don't know what it is. It's like a big guitar-looking thing, but he strums it. He doesn't guitar it.
He straps like the end of it to like his chest, and it comes out forward like towards you, and then he strums it. It's really weird, but it's super cool.
Yeah, it makes a cool sound, and he also tries to pull little kids up so that they can try to make the noises too. When we were walking through Africa, we also saw the guy that carves the wood. He makes wind chimes out of wood. He makes little animal figurines out of wood, and he just sits over there in a corner, and he just what is it, whittling
he
something,
like whittles it and carves it down and stuff. And he makes walking sticks too, which are really cool. And
and he'll do stuff like for custom. So if someone's like, I want like shark teeth on mine, or like I want claw marks or something, he'll do that. So that was really cool. We also ate at Africa. So we ate at the Harambe Marketplace, and that was really cool because just like Pandora, the Africa Marketplace tries to have different types of food that seem a little bit more authentic to Africa. So they have a lot of spices. It's not spicy, but they have a lot of spices in them, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Did you like your food at Africa?
Yeah, I did. I had a gyro with lamb, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was, honestly. But it's super cool, and it feels like you're sitting like at an actual outside market, just eating food. Like you forget that you're at a theme park. Yeah. And we love Animal Kingdom because the entire time you forget you're at a theme park. Especially because of all the different... They have posters all over the brick walls, and they have like banners hanging down, and it's just so cool. Everything looks like you're actually there. Yeah. The walkways are broken, or they have animal footprints in them, and it's just awesome. After that, we went to the Festival of the Lion King, Shelby's first like Broadway type show, and
What did you think of it?
It was amazing. I love The Lion King in general, and I love like Scar. He's like one of my favorite villains and everything. And so they did a number with a guy who's basically supposed to be Scar. He sang Scar's villain song, and a fire twirler came out during that song, which is probably why he's like my favorite guy.